The Ministry of Education in St. Kitts and Nevis has come to terms with the reality that business as usual will not suffice in a new era of teaching and learning. Paradigm shifts are common, given the impact of emerging and technologically advanced careers, and thus, those individuals charged with the responsibility to manage the education sector must expect a dynamic and challenging encounter. While foundational precepts remain at the heart of the education process, new levels of flexibility have also become a vital ingredient in the success equation. Changing trends in education mean new tools for learning and new strategies for teaching, but it also implies adapted and modern infrastructure to facilitate new trends and new needs.
When I came to the Ministry of Education 4 years ago, I thought that what I would want to focus upon would be improving the quality of the teaching learning process by focusing on teacher appraisals and giving support to that process of getting teachers to be better teachers. And that I think is still ongoing, and that is ultimately what we want. But we understand that there's certain critical inputs to getting to that level.
There were many persons who were seeking employment who did not have the skills where employers were demanding an increased workforce, and so the ministry began to focus on TVET, technical and vocational education and training, a task which highlighted a dire need for the appropriate facilities to accommodate a rapidly expanding need for training. Generally speaking, the condition of schools required attention. Of course, school structures being some of the most heavily utilized, it became apparent that the time had come to standardize and structure procedures related to the maintenance of schools. It was evident that the comprehensive strategy for the development of educational facilities must be implemented. A piecemeal approach to maintenance would no longer suffice. The White Paper on Education addressed the implementation of a manual on school maintenance procedures. In the interim, however, the issue of existing maintenance remained, and ministry officials set out to address the situation by conducting a whole-scale assessment of maintenance required in schools throughout the Federation.
It was a sensitization process for all of us, coming to terms with what really was exactly the state of repair of our infrastructure, our school plants throughout St. Kitts. Our schools have been in existence for many, many years, and the fact that we had not had a systematic way of ensuring that our schools were properly maintained has been a systemic problem. It's not a problem that arose in the last 3 years, last 4 years. It is a systemic problem that we now have to fix. And fixing that problem is not a process which will happen overnight. It takes building institutional capacity within the ministry and forming alliances with Public Works, which is a ministry which also has to do some organizational and institutional building and capacity building. So it's a process which has to take some time, but I believe that we have made significant progress.
Inspired by these new experiences, the Minister of Education challenged his team to buckle up as they prepared to take a temporary but necessary diversion. With the challenge of upgrading the physical structure of all learning institutions, the Ministry of Education and its stakeholders sat down to devise strategies for the way forward. Education planner Mr. Quinton Morton was charged with the awesome responsibility of getting the maintenance process underway. With the assistance of Public Works and a few key education officials, a quick assessment of issues at the institutions pointed the way forward and the work began. The health and security of students, teachers, and other persons using the institutions was determined the number one factor in conducting upgrades, while functionality was second, and comfort and aesthetics was determined the final component of school infrastructural improvements.
It is really a new time, new era in education, where we believe that we have to focus intensely upon the quality of the infrastructure of our schools. I'm sure that everybody knows about the need for us to maintain our infrastructure properly, creating the environment for our boys and girls and our teachers and others to work in and to study in. And so we started a very aggressive program of improvement of our schools.
As such, Primary and secondary schools around the island began to receive well-needed facelifts and maintenance to some of their worn-out facilities. Bathrooms were refurbished, drainage systems remodeled, labs rebuilt, refurbished and refurnished, classrooms painted, old structures demolished, windows replaced and repaired, fences erected, eaves replaced, and the list goes on.
For the past couple of months, we have been into almost practically all the schools doing some general maintenance and basically some upgrade. Some schools were very fortunate that because of their situation, we were able to spend quite a number of money, quite a large sum of money on them, and others are waiting to be started.
We also visited the Beach Island Primary School, the Dean Glasswood Primary School, the Tucker Clark Primary School, the Irish Town Primary School, and here we are at the Dr. William Connor Primary School. And at each of these institutions, we've done significant work. For example, here at Dr. William Connor, we have replaced banisters. I've done some work in bathrooms and painting and so forth, but there is still a lot of work to be done. These schools, some of these have been in a very poor shape for a long time, and we are bringing the necessary leadership to bear to ensure that we get these places refurbished and in the best state that we can put them for the well-being of our teachers and students.
I'm very happy that we are now working on the maintenance of schools and repairing the schools. As the CEO, the reports usually come to me and through me, and sometimes, we felt a bit overwhelmed. So at this time, when so much is happening about repairing and making sure that our schools are safe, I am very, very happy that it's taking place.
We've started with the improvement at that level at the departments where we believe our students need greater support. So in our learning support department, we've done significant improvement, in particular creating the ambience that would really encourage our young people to want to learn and to want to come to school. We've done painting, replacement of roof where we had issues and so forth. Then we went on to the Keon High School where we had a significant challenge with flooding and erosion in the schoolyard.
We had the refurbishing of the bathroom area, first of all for the students. We had brand new bathrooms, and so far the students are appreciative and they're keeping them well. I'm very satisfied with the work that was done, and it has sought to bring a sense of relief for the children, so they have nice clean bathrooms to use, and I think they have dedicated themselves to taking care and keeping them that way. We also had the entrance to the school being paved, and we also had some drainage problems they were taken care of with an open drain. I am very satisfied with the work that was done. It is working now to our advantage, and where there were pools of water when rain came, now we have a constant and ready flow of the water going out.
The bathrooms are a sort of special challenge for us as the areas that deteriorate very fast. So many students on a daily basis visiting the bathroom, and sometimes because of how they use them, they break down very quickly. But this comprehensive program of school improvement is geared towards ensuring that we have the proper infrastructure in place so students are comfortable.
In addressing safety and security issues, the unforeseen at the Bastyr High School remains an unforgettable experience, and many interventions have been implemented along the way as they continue to desperately seek to find out the source of health issues being reported by some students and teachers. This included the entire west wing of the school being temporarily relocated to other facilities in the near vicinity. A report from Kariri revealed that other than mold and dust, no other threats to the school environment were discovered. This was followed up with a full refurbishment of labs and other facilities at the school. The ministry, with its partners in health and public works, among other stakeholders, visited the school early in 2014 to assist in resolving any remaining issues. The issues are still being worked on, as the ministry seeks to bring all relevant stakeholders together to get to the bottom of the problem and return the school to normalcy.
So our job here today is to really look at those things which are critical to the safety of the students and the teachers and all those who work in this environment.
I too am happy that we are here to drill down, to get to the bottom of exactly what the concerns are. I always say whenever we meet at Bastia High School, we are very grateful for all of the upgrades and the repairs. The physical structure, it's a remarkable achievement. No one can deny that. However, as we said, there are still some challenges.
We have spent in the vicinity of $5 million at the Bastia High School, renovating labs, biology, physics, chemistry, integrated science labs, bathrooms, cleaning of septic tanks, replacing plumbing all over the school, and refurbishing classrooms, auditorium, offices, and that kind of thing. And that's critically important because a year ago, Bastia High School was in fairly terrible shape where the infrastructure was concerned. And so we're very pleased that we have made significant progress there. The place looks like brand new virtually, and we're very happy for that. We built additional classrooms. There are some other challenges at Bastia High School that we need to get to the bottom of, and we are doing all that we can to work with the various agencies of government to get to the bottom of those concerns.
I want to draw just two examples. The Clarence Fitzroy Bryan College was designed and built for 600 students. It now has double that, and beside double that, it has afternoon sessions where people and the students use the toilets. So just over 3 years ago, when that soak away backed up and filled, Public Works had to work almost 24 hours to get that school in a ready state so that the school, which was designed for 600 students, which has double that, soak away and toilet system could be working. Another example to that is that we know when these schools were built, they were not computer friendly. And so today, with all the different apparatus and electrical gears that are now in schools, Public Works are faced with a situation where some of these schools which had 4 outlets, now you need almost one for every child who, after 2 hours in school, the computer goes down, they need to plug into and keep their computers on. And so Public Works has been dealing with such situations.
All in all, the situation serves to strengthen the ministry's new approach to school maintenance, the implementation of a systematic plan of maintenance overseen by a school's maintenance team. But while the details of setting up such a team are being organized, existing needs remain on the front burner, and school repairs and expansions are ongoing. With the goal of education for all, the ministry's youngest constituents were identified as priority recipients of the upgrades to institutions. The Early Childhood Development Unit has staked its claim that early childhood education is the foundation for sustained educational success, and the ministry, and by expansion the government, have been thoroughly convinced. As such, maintenance and repair started at all government daycare centers. The icing on the cake, a brand new state-of-the-art daycare center facility for the people of St. Paul's, Newton Ground, and surrounding areas. With the help of the Taiwanese government, a project was undertaken which guided the construction of what the Early Childhood Unit hopes would be the model for future daycare centers in St. Kitts and Nevis, boasting large work and play spaces, hygiene-supportive washrooms and kitchens, well-ventilated areas, impressive storage capacity, and a large outdoor play area. The new daycare center, located in St. Paul's, is expected to add value to the learning experience of preschoolers enrolled there.
This building and this facility really goes a long way in helping us to achieve universal preschool education, because at the current moment we have about an 80% coverage of the students who would normally be at preschool age. The 20% who are not accessing our schools, our daycare centers and preschools,
are doing so partly because of choice. There's some families who would prefer to have a grandmother or somebody take care of the children, and you have others who may have difficulty finding space in our preschools. Infrastructure alone is not enough. We need their support for the people who work here. We need their support for the programs that we have for children of nursery and preschool ages. This is collocated with the primary school, situated near the primary school, and it really makes a good corridor for us to have high quality institutions. And so we look forward to the people of St. Paul's and the surrounding areas benefiting from this, and we trust that in the years to come we can see the product of this investment in the young people we raise here being stable, productive citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis.